Alright, loads of news to dive into today from our beloved Scottish football. We've got Steven Gerrard giving the cold shoulder to a Rangers return, Celtic making some drastic moves and eyeing up new signings, and a St. Mirren goalkeeper opening up about the harsh reality of missing out on Europe. Before we get stuck in, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and smash that like button. I'll be here every single day, keeping you bang up to date with everything happening in Scottish football. Scott McTominay, Scotland's very own midfield engine, has opened up about his time at Manchester United, and let's just say he's got some things to get off his chest. According to McTominay, the issue wasn't lack of effort, it was a classic case of being put in the wrong box, literally, now shining as a goal-hungry, box-crashing menace for both Scotland and Napoli. Big Scott says he was misprofiled at United. Yeah, misprofiled. Sounds like something out of a spy film. But in football terms, it means they stuck him in the wrong role. At Old Trafford, he was often chucked in as a number 6. That's your deep line tackle and pass sort of guy. Worse yet, sometimes he was even used as a makeshift center back. According to McTominay, that's miles away from what he actually brings to the pitch. I've always been about getting in the box, scoring goals, causing havoc, he said. But with Paul Pogba sitting in that number 8 spot at the time, McTominay knew better than to rock the boat. You can't just march into the gaffer's office at 20 years old and demand a spot ahead of Pogba, he admitted. Fair point, really. And while he did start to venture forward more in recent seasons, it wasn't until his switch to Napoli that we started seeing the full McTominay unleashed. He's loving life there, passionate fans, a top-tier league, and more importantly, a role that suits him. Now, fair play to the lad for not throwing anyone under the bus. He made it clear he doesn't blame the coaches. But still, it does make you wonder, was Manchester United guilty of wasting Scott McTominay's prime years by playing him out of position? Or was he simply not good enough to make it in his preferred role at the time? Zack Hemming, ladies and gents, a man who helped take St. Mirren into Europe and then had to watch it all from the sofa. The English goalkeeper, who played a blinder on loan at the Buddies last season, was crucial in breaking a nearly 4-decade-long wait for continental football in Paisley. 10 clean sheets in 33 games? That's not just good. That's put a statue up in the local Greg's levels of contribution. But instead of getting a shot at the big European nights, Middlesbrough packed him off to Leyton Orient in England's 3rd tier. Europa Conference dreams swapped for a rainy Tuesday in Cheltenham, and the lad didn't hide how he felt about it either. On the This and That podcast, he laid it all out. The disappointment, the dash plans, and the emotional gut punch of missing out on those special nights. His family were already getting their scarves ready. His missus was buzzing. His mom was probably halfway through knitting a St. Mirren blanket. And then, nada. Off to London he went. To make it worse, St. Mirren actually did all right in the Conference League. Took down Valor of Iceland, put up a fight against SK Branham Norway, proper nights under the floodlight. Ellery Balcom stepped up in goal, but you could tell Hemming was itching to be there. You watched every match, probably shouting at the telly like the rest of us when a back pass got hairy. He did eventually make it back to Paisley in January, a welcome return for manager Sanfin Robinson, no doubt. But by then, the European train had left the station. Hemming admits it stung even more to come back halfway through, knowing he could have been part of the whole story from the first page. St. Hill, he's got his sights set on helping St. Mirren into the top 6 and maybe, just maybe, back into Europe next season. The man's clearly not lacking motivation. Did Middlesbrough kill Hemming's momentum and St. Mirren's European chances by blocking his return? Or is that just how it goes when you're a loanee and loyalty only lasts until the paperwork's signed? Looks like the green and white shopping list just got a familiar name scribbled back on it. Michel-Ange Balikwisha. The winger from Royal Antwerp, is once again on Celtic's radar. Despite the fact he's barely kicked the ball this season, thanks to a pesky torn thigh muscle. Just 273 minutes of first-team football all season? That's barely enough time to finish a halftime pie at Parkhead. With a price tag floating around £5 million and just 1 year left on his contract, Antwerp seemed ready to cash in. Celtic scouts were apparently in the stands during Antwerp's recent 5-1 thumping by Union. St. Gilloise, Not exactly a glowing reference match, but Balikwisha did notch an assist before one of his teammates got himself sent off, and the whole thing turned into a Belgian disaster. Now, Celtic and wingers, that's a tale as old as time lately. Ever since Hoda strutted off into the sunset, and by sunset, we mean Saudi cash, it's been a revolving door of replacement. Marco Tilio, Yang Hyun-jun, and Lise Palma were all brought in. But let's be honest, none of them have quite filled the Hoda-shaped hole in the side. Nicholas Kuhns finally hit the ground running, and Dazen Maid has been turned into a striker, probably after one too many wayward crosses. So why Balikwisha? And why now? Well, if Brendan Rodgers wants 4 proper wingers to compete across a jam-packed schedule, including 10 Champions League matches next season, depth isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And with Antwerp's bargaining power weakened by the players' contract situation and injury woes, this could be a classic case of Celtic playing the long game. But here's where it gets tasty. Is signing a winger with major injury concerns just savvy business? Or are Celtic playing with fire by gambling on fitness instead of proven form? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Looks like Steven Gerrard's not dusting off the brogues just yet, despite the rumors flying faster than a Tavernier cross. The former Rangers gaffer has made it crystal clear. He's in no rush to dive back into the madness of football management. With Felipe Clement shown the door and Rangers in the market for a new boss, Gerrard's name was naturally flung into the conversation like chips on a night out in Salty Hall Sanctuary. But according to the man himself, speaking on that Peter Crouch podcast, he's loving life on the sidelines. "I don't want to be back in work, mate," he said, sounding more like someone planning a trip to the pub than plotting Europa League glory. "I just want to be free. Have a game of golf, go down to Boozer, and have a couple of beers." And honestly, fair play. After a roller coaster stint at Al Ettifaq in Saudi Arabia, 23 wins, 16 draws, 20 defeats, who can blame him for taking a breather? The connection with Rangers isn't going away. After all, this is the guy who stopped Celtic's 10-in-a-row dreams and brought the title back to Ibrox in dramatic, unbeaten fashion. That alone's enough to keep the Ibrox faithful dreaming of a fairy tale return. Now, with the 49ers takeover brewing in the background and Barry Ferguson steering the ship for now, including a derby win at Parkhead and a cheeky Europa League scalp over Jose Mourinho, the plot thickens. Barry's made a case, no doubt. But if the Americans come calling with fresh ambition, would they want a big name like Gerrard, even if he's currently more interested in pints than press conferences? Should Rangers fans welcome Gerrard back with open arms, or has that chapter closed? And is it time to build something new with a fresh face and fresh ideas? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Scottish football, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.